Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beneath the Kotatsu. On here, James over there.
Yo, yo.
So a couple episodes ago, we did a small mention of like gacha games and
We love our gacha games.
and so we're like, hey, why don't we just do a full episode about gacha games?
Yeah, we definitely are addicted to rerolling. At least I am. I gotta get multiple 3-star units or triple S's. What have you?
S, 5 stars, whatever the top tier ranks are.
Oh yeah, they got the gambling.
Yeah. So what was your first gacha game, James?
My first gacha game was Monster Strike. I'd say.
I think mine was Puzzle and Dragon. I think.
I don't like Puzzle and Dragons at all. I wish they would have updated their game to actually look modern because they're using that old timey UI. I mean,
it legit. Honestly, probably one of the first gacha games.
Oh yeah,
which
I'm sure they just keep it that way, so like people with old ass phones keep on playing it.
Yeah, it's an easy game to pick up if you have like an older phone, which makes sense. And then I've played my slew of like I've played so many countless gacha games, and I've like are you mainly a free to play player or?
Oh yeah, dude. There's only maybe one game that I put money in for a little bit, but. Was there was Unison League, and it was just out of desperation for that collab item. You know, you gotta get that Evangelion one.
The Evangelion, yeah, of
course. I need the robot, dude. And I didn't get
it. Was there anything that stood out to you? Like any games that stood out to you?
For me specifically, for gacha games, I always have to get enticed by a collab. Always.
Like to bring you into the game, or
dude, I save up my gems for the collab units for the most time. Like I already know, like games like what was it Blue Archives? That's gonna have another collab eventually. I'm just gonna save up my gems for the collab. I want the unit.
For me, I think it's gameplay. Like if the gameplay isn't good, I'm just gonna drop the game.
Yeah, that's why I never went back to Unison League. It's just it's boring.
It's okay. So like a majority of these games is basically a what do you call it? Like a Final Fantasy type battle system, like a load battle system, like back and forth type deal. And I mean that's fun, but it's not very engaging, because it's literally copy and paste now. There's so many of them that are the same.
Brave Exvius was amazing for a time, but the thing I hated about that, you gotta have a Facebook account, and then I lost my Facebook account because I deleted it. It's like, wait, my save, and there goes all my collab units and my progress. I was super sad about losing that.
Couldn't you also link Brave? Oh wait, that was like before you could link everything to like Google, right?
Yeah,
to the Google Cloud.
They never updated it, so whatever, man. You lost my money.
Yeah, like before the Google Cloud, like pre-linking everything to the Google Cloud, everything had to like either be preloaded into the phone or it had to be linked up to your Facebook account, which was super annoying. I hated
They also
so
give
much.
you the transfer code thing, which good luck keeping those unless you save the document. Like
they're like 22 characters long or something, right? Like randomly generated.
Fate still has that. It's so annoying, but whatever.
Like older games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
definitely.
It'd be nice if Fate Go like upgrades how the game looks, but at some point people are gonna stop playing it. I feel it might be like Puzzles and Dragon going more. Maybe it goes a RuneScape route and is around for 20 more years.
Just because it's so like when you put money into it, it's really hard to drop something off, Dude,
like I was watching a little documentary of this Japanese dude. He's like, I live with my parents. I did amazing in the stock market. I spent $80,000 on Fate Grand Order. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You spent a freaking, Porsche on a video game? Get out of here.
Like, I would say that's crazy until I saw those numbers of people spending like huge amounts of money when
Genshin Impact.
Yeah, Genshin Impact.
Oh my god, $3,000 to get a fully maxed character. Wasn't that the estimate?
Wait, how much?
Didn't you say it was like 3,000, 4,000? What people were spending like to max out?
Yeah, to get like that. Okay, that's because it's bad practices. Like let's talk about bad practices in games, because I think that's the main point of like I don't want to get into the point of like the ethics of gacha games, because we all know at the end of the day
addiction.
It's a game made for you to spend money, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I want to talk about ways they make you spend money. And I'll talk with let's talk about the most egregious to the least egregious.
Okay.
The number one most egregious thing I hate when playing a gacha game, it's in your face advertisement. Like right when you pop into the game.
Oh my god.
Bam, in your face, like, hey, buy this pack right now. It's on sale. Buy it, and it shows up like so many times up in your face.
I think Dragon Ball Legends has like 3 pop-ups for when that happens. When I used to play it, I would like, okay, press X, don't show me again. Press X, don't show me again. Press X, don't show me again. And I stopped eventually playing that game. I got super into it. The fight system was cool. It's like a rock, paper, scissors thing with energy, but just annoying.
I mean, that's a normal like
doing a fighting game on the phone is really hard because you need the joystick or controller. You just do.
It makes sense. Yeah, but I hate it when they're like so up in your face about like buying. Like it's just like at that point it's basically just a cash grab. They don't care about the game. They care more about the money.
Of course. That's the whole point of making the game, to take your money.
Well, yeah, but there's some games that do it way better, and that they deserve my money because I put hours of time into playing the game. The second thing I hate so much is they pry into your subconsciousness about getting things completed. So when you're playing the game, right, and then you get a little exclamation mark or you get a little red bubble about, hey, this is not completed over here. You need a complete list, and usually is you just go in and you accept like free stuff that they give you. But I hate it when they leave a little red bubble. You go in, it's like you can't complete the red bubble until you buy something from the store. I'm like,
oh my god,
get the fuck out of here.
I know at the start of the game when you're doing the tutorial, you pull the banners like this is how you buy stuff from us, which is okay because that's where you get your unit.
No, that's understandable. Yeah, but no.
They always.
I'm talking about just the completion. I'm talking about just like. Why is the notification? Yeah, like why is there a red notification bar right there for me to buy something?
What's an example of a game that had that, just to jog my memory?
I don't think you've played like it's mostly like just C-rated games.
Oh, okay. A lot of the ones I played were from you or related to stuff that I liked. Like
I only recommend you.
Final Fantasy Mobius I played, which was great.
Like I only recommend you good games. Like nothing that prize like on your money and stuff like that. Like, but yeah, there's lots of games where it's like those little red completion tasks where it's like, oh, you need to do your daily tasks. And I'm fine with that. But if it's a task that's impossible to do without putting in real money, I hate that so
honestly
much.
Like I'm gonna be free to play forever because even amazing looking games like Final Fantasy Mobius, fantastic. I loved it. I played it so much. I had 2 accounts. But they shut down the service. It's not around anymore. There's the money. It's never gonna get it.
Yeah, no, you basically. Yeah. But I mean that makes sense though, right? You at least got your money's worth in time playing the game. I think that's what you're paying for.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. It's a free game after all.
Like if you think about it, the only reason you're putting money into the game is to get like usually to get a unit, that you want to use and you want to enjoy while playing the game. That's what you're paying for. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, I think max amount of money I've ever put into all gacha games ever is probably around $200 max.
Mine's like 30.
Really? That's not that much.
Yeah, I'm straight free to play. I don't
like I play a lot more gacha games than you do, I guess.
Yeah.
Like usually for me, like the one thing I'll probably buy are like usually the beginner packages they'll give out, for like $2 or $3 or stuff like that.
I mean, if
like
we're talking about gacha boxes, even outside of mobile games, it's gonna be how much is Path of Exile? Right?
Path of Exile.
You want to buy a Mazda Miata?
Overwatch is a lot big.
You get yourself a Ford Pinto instead.
I think overall, max amount of money. I probably for me like just gacha boxes in general, maybe $500 max, and that's coming from like maybe over. I would say over 12, 13 years of playing gacha games. So I guess
just from Poe, I know it's been a fat amount. From Dota 2, I spent a lot, but I sold a lot of items to fund my box opening habit, so it paid for itself. $100 in that game for sure.
Another thing I hate about gacha games is maybe linear stamina. Oh, I know that was a huge thing for Genshin Impact, was the linear stamina system. Basically, there's no point in making your stamina bar bigger if you get one stamina every, let's say, 10 minutes. You get one stamina, right? Yeah. What's the point of having a 500 stamina bar if I'm going to be playing the game and it never goes up any faster? I can have a 1,000,000 point stamina bar, but if I'm going to be playing your game, I'm going to get the same amount of stamina daily, you know? I think that's the reason why I like World Flipper so much, is they get everything right about the game. Because not only do they give you scaling stamina, like after every 5 levels or something, whenever you do that, they give you like a plus 1% increased stamina regeneration rate. And I'm like, okay, well, that's amazing. But not only that, you can technically keep playing the game. You can play the game for 10 hours with zero stamina because of how many invites you get from other players. And whenever you get an invite from other players, it costs 0 stamina to play.
It's very generous.
Yeah, like the amount of players I've seen that are level 100 in World Flippers it's a crazy amount. You would never see, level 100 players without them spending a huge amount of money, into the game at that point. What?
Yeah. For Dragon Ball Legends, because that's the one I played a lot. You had 10 stamina or something super low like that, 30, and they just gave you a bunch of stamina tickets. Like, just make the bar bigger, dude. Like, I don't know why you leave it so low. Like, you can't play an hour of that game unless you have stamina tickets, or I wasn't able to.
I mean, I'd rather have stamina tickets than a larger bar. That's the thing. A larger bar can only do you so much, because if they don't, let's say they give you a larger bar, right? But if they don't increase the rate at which you get stamina, then it only benefits players that only play the game once every 2 or 3 days.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, see, if it's a player that plays it religiously, like let's say you open the game every 4 hours, you're gonna get the same amount of stamina. Either if you have a stamina bar that's 30 or you have a stamina bar that's 100. It's the same amount. Same amount of stamina gained every 10 minutes or so. Okay. What's another thing that bothers you in gacha games?
Not that it bothers me, but bad gameplay, obviously. There's only a handful of gacha games that have had good gameplay.
Oh, even good story for that matter. Well, what do you think about like autoplay as a general rule?
I like it. I wish Fate Grand Order had it. Some games it's better just to take the autoplay off. Like World Flipper, I don't like the autoplay on that for some reason. Obviously if it's a long boss fight, I'm gonna leave it on autoplay.
Oh yeah.
But it's mostly like, oh, I bought these units, I'm gonna send them out for a mission to do stuff for me.
Oh yeah.
You're not actively engaging with the game.
I think there's a whole genre built around that, right? Like AFK Arena. Like it's basically just an auto.
Fate Grand Order famously does not have autoplay, and that game could use it. You have to press everything. It's very not enjoyable for me because it is very tedious grinding some of those matches.
But you could say it's very engaging, right?
It is definitely engaging.
I think the best use of autoplay I've seen is probably with the new game Blue Archive, because they have an autoplay, right? But the bots are so stupid. It's exponentially way better to manually use all your skills, because in Blue Archive you basically drag your skills around to see where you want to put your skills at. Like let's say you want to buff a unit, right? Well, if you're going to use a buff ability, it might only just hit one unit, like it's a radius, but it'll just hit one unit. But if you're manually controlling it, you can hit your whole team with that buff if you time it just right. That's the reason why.
Technically, the only engagement is pressing the abilities, right? I don't think you can move your character around manually, can you?
No, you can't. But there's some units that have the ability to like move different. Like that. That's the thing. You got to use some abilities to move your characters around. Like, there's one unit that drops down like a pot of food that will cause all your units to come to that pot. So let's say you're fighting a boss that is shooting like a telegraphed attack down range. If you time that pot of food just right, they'll all run to that healing pot and they'll avoid the telegraphed attack. Okay. So it's basically team building, and I really like that aspect of like
I've been
Blue
playing
Archive.
it, just haven't had the time because of baby steps.
Oh yeah,
But
I
it's a
guess that
good
makes
one
sense.
though. I'm happy with my units.
Yeah, I hate it too. Is when I know it's like a more was it a newer thing where uh gotcha games are catering to the reroll aspect of like
Yeah, I mean, Blue Archive has the built-in reroll, which I
yeah.
am happy with
I'm happy with
personally.
that, but oh god damn, do I hate so much the forced what was it, the forced
Tutorial.
startup
Oh my
tutorial
god,
level?
dude, Mobius! It took like 40 minutes just to get to be able to roll.
Oh my god,
It was extremely long, and I re-rolled a couple of times. Probably like
I
15 minutes. I'm over exaggerating.
it's I mean anything past 10 minutes gets on my nerves when
I
it comes to
distinctly
rerolling.
remember doing like 3 re-rolls an hour for Mobius Final Fantasy.
Which game was it that basically? Well, I think it was World Flippers that was like, "Hey, we saw that you've already played this before and you reset your account. We're gonna send you straight to the rolls."
Oh,
I'm
they
like,
let you do
finally,
that?
a game that yeah, basically
Oh
like
my god, I was uninstalling and reinstalling it.
oh, like no, you had to uninstall and reinstall it because
Oh, okay.
at the start of the game they didn't have a reset button, or they had a reset button, but it was on a 24-hour delay.
Okay.
Yeah,
A
but
cooldown even?
yeah, but after the a patch update or whatever, basically whenever you reset the game, it would automatically know that, hey, you reset the game, you've already done the tutorial. We're just gonna send you straight to the whatever, to the roles or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, finally, a game that gets and there's some other games that do that too, that they just completely skip the tutorial level and let you do straight to the roles or whatever.
Oh, talking about egregious things that these games do. A lot of the times, like, I know World Flipper is good about this with the units, and the Blue Archives is pretty good too, that I've noticed. A lot of games, if it's not a 5-star or whatever, the max rank is worthless.
Oh my god. Okay, I do want to talk about that. What was the game? 7 something?
Epic 7?
Epic 7.
That was a great game. I loved it.
Yeah, it was a great game. They had this one unit. She was a 3-star unit, a basic unit, right? That anyone could easily get. And she basically had a team built around her. Apparently, she was so strong for being a 3-star unit, they went and nerfed her super hard. And now basically if you want to build like a super strong unit, you basically have to have like all 5-star units or stuff like that. Like,
oh, they changed. I haven't touched it in quite a while. I played the Guilty Gear release that they had on that, and it's like, yeah, okay, I had my fill of Epic 7. I beat the story.
Yeah,
they had a great story, by the way.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I like World Flipper so much, is that there's like in a team you might only need 1 5-star, the rest can be 4 or 3. Like, you don't need maxed out characters.
Yeah,
there's some teams that actually the team leader is a 3 or 4-star characters because their abilities is so good. Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't you say that's like more of a poor planning on the development team? They didn't think about compositions enough.
No, I think they knew. I think they knew. Is because World Flipper, they had another game before World Flippers where they did the same thing, where like these units weren't as good, but they're still viable. And I think it's the company. The company knew what they were doing to keep. Yeah. Like, I'm still playing World Flippers now, and usually when I'm playing a gacha game, I'll either enjoy it by either through 1 week of play, or I'm gonna drop it and never remember it again.
Yeah.
And World Flippers, I've been playing for like a month straight, and I'm still enjoying it. So I think they totally knew what they were doing. Like for people who want to pay to get better units, that's on them. But the hard part is getting people, like getting free to play players to put up money for anything for gacha games. Yeah. I think that's where the big challenge is.
What I hate about like 3 stars, just really quick, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
If it's not 5 stars, it's worthless. I hate that. Like, I have that bias now because of all those other games, that all the lower ranked units were never that great. You always had to have the 5 stars to even beat bosses and stuff like that.
Yeah, because the 5-star units always had the better abilities. They always had the better passive stuff. They had the better everything. And 3-star units, for better or worse, most of the time they're basically just feed material for the better units.
Definitely.
Yeah, but that's why I like world flippers. Is that these lower ranked units, they're just
pretty useful.
They're very very. There's actually a meme. There's a meme going around that there's like how when you're doing a mission, you can sometimes get like those basic monster drops that you just kind of like feed them to them to other units. Well, there's a mushroom monster in World Flippers that is super super useful, and people actually max out level 100 of this mushroom thing, just because it's really good in like a certain teams, because it basically causes your unit to like fly towards the enemy, so it basically combos really well with like certain units. And I'm like, yeah, this is why I like World Flippers so much. They just know how to use all their units correctly, and there's some 3-star units that are like really bad.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they just haven't found their niche or their certain team.
Maybe future content.
Yeah,
they'll become more viable.
Yeah. Like for me, I've done all the big bosses, and some of these big bosses I don't even have like the best in slot characters. I just have the basic one, and I build teams
best
around
in slot strategy because from what you showed me, you made some trends.
Yeah, I've gotten to like some teams that are like super super like useful, that are beating these like higher end teams, like especially like teams that are trying to kill monsters fast or whatever. Like my teams have gotten so well known. Like I've seen a lot of people like copying my teams, because that's what you can do in World Flippers. That if you enjoy someone's team, you can actually follow them and you can see their full team comp, which I'm kind of glad about, I guess, right? To share your team comp and to see what other people are building, because it's at the end of the day, it's a PvE game. It's not a PvP thing. And that's another thing I want to get at, is like basically a lot of these games are PvP, and then that's where the big money is at.
Oh yeah, was the complaints that I had with, I think it was Brave Exvius or another game I was playing with the PvP aspect. I was Valkyrie Connect. If you didn't have like the great fully awakened characters, you're gonna have a bad time in PvP.
Yeah, because basically like that's pretty much the end game of a lot of these gacha games is PvP. Like if you don't have a maxed out character, or if you don't have this one certain tank character, you don't have this one certain healer character, you're basically
can't make it.
Yeah, you
not
can't
viable.
Make it. Yeah, you either need to dump thousands and thousands of dollars into this game, or you need to find a different game,
like those FIFA games, or you got to get the fully gold star player cards to be good at the game. But that's a non-gacha game. I guess a player card is a gacha soccer game, if anything.
Didn't a guy lose his house because he was?
I have no idea. It's people get addicted. It's gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling. Like we all know it's a gambling thing. It's a gambling, like gacha games in general is gambling.
Oh yeah, the reroll scratches the itch. I'm addicted to seeing the rainbow pop up and then seeing like 3 units. Ultra rare. Oh my god!
How cool is it that in Blue Archive they
you have to sign it?
Well, not only do you sign it, like there's a lot of games where you sign it. I've played plenty like that. But how cool is it that they actually like have the voice actors like say out like a bunch of names?
Oh my god, I love that so much. That's why I'm gonna keep on playing it. It actually, how do you pronounce your name? And then it says it pretty good.
Oh, like phonetically? Like phonetically,
I put my name in and it said it like spot on. It says Jamu. It's like, oh shit. I feel like a senpai. Especially with the convenience store girl.
Jim Sensei.
Jamu. Oh, I feel like I'm in an anime. They got the itch.
It's real. It's coming. They've got it right.
It's true. All my dreams.
Only downside to Blue Archive right now is how unoptimized the game is. Oh my god.
Game launch is just fine, and you updated to the new version of Android, didn't you? I haven't gotten it yet on my phone for whatever reason.
Like, how long does it take for you to open the game? Like, for me, it takes several minutes.
Really? It takes a couple of seconds for me. That's with loading at a minute at most. And I'm not joking. Like a minute at most.
Maybe mine is like 2 minutes. Like, it has 2 loading screens. What's up with the 2 loading screens?
The first one is fast for me. The second one, 40 seconds, 30 seconds, something like that.
I mean, that's way longer than it should be. Like like for a gacha game,
we are using S21 phones too.
Yeah, we have newer phones, so it shouldn't take that long, right? It should like 10 seconds max. But Jesus, a game shouldn't take several minutes to load you into the game. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous. Like,
as long as like Black Desert on the phone, probably. MMOs on the phone now are pretty. It's getting pretty ridiculous. Like what you could play on your phone.
I mean, honestly, every MMO I've played on my phone is a bot game at this point.
Yeah,
right?
they suck, dude. It's not worth it. You need the keyboard and mouse. Like the touch controls, I'm not feeling it.
That basically like when if you're playing an MMO, you just click the buttons like go to this area.
It's not intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah. Click the button, kill this monster. Click the button. It's basically it's an auto game.
They played on rails for you.
Yeah, like you don't even need to do anything. You just like at that point, like are you even playing the game anymore? You're just basically clicking the auto button the whole time. Man, it's I don't know.
Not pleasing.
But what's besides Blue and whatever?
Blue Archive, Eureka, not Eureka 7. Epic 7 was the one that I can say with the fact that that's the most enjoyment I've had. Leveling up weapons, making team comps. I got super into the fighting in that game, that's for sure. Valkyrie Connect, I enjoyed it because of the collabs and it was 3D. Mm-hmm. The raids were pretty good, but at a certain point, people stopped playing it.
I think Genshin Impact was my last big game.
Yeah. I barely got into that one. I mean, it's still good. It's just, I tried re-rolling it like 10 times, like, my motivation is killed. I got to the Chinese area, I guess, the Asian area.
Yeah.
With the dragon, that you fight him in the sky, and that's as far as I went.
I think the one thing I hate about Genshin Impact, and I think there's several other games, I think Epic 7 had this too, is the randomized gear. Oh, I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Like, I understand it. It's fun to get, like, the perfect gear, right? But when you're, if you're not, like, that type of player that will grind over and over, it gets...
Genshin, I was super excited to get random awesome gear, actually, for my character. Every other game, swords, all the equipment, like, I don't care about it. I never pull the banners for it. I think
what was it? World Flipper does it right. Like they have a banner for items, but you don't even need it. Like the one you get, the ones from missions are just as good or better. Than the ones you get from banners.
I know Unison League had the weapon banners. Like, why would you ever pull that? It's garbage.
Wait, isn't Unison League all weapons though? Like,
it might have been. I'm thinking of Valkyrie Connect, the same company, A-Team.
Oh. Yeah, because Unison League basically is just your one character and you just equip them out with different weapons and gears and stuff like that. Yeah. But with what I'm talking about is like whenever you're playing like Epic 7 and you get like a rare drop item, and let's say you've been farming for this item for like a long time, right? Like an hour, 2 hours or whatever, you're fighting this boss and it drops a super rare item. And you're looking at it as like, oh, it doesn't have strength, it doesn't have this and that, like,
just like New World when you're making a new weapon or something like that, and it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have like the perfect stats. It's like it's insta garbage. It's insta garbage, and you can't use it because it just doesn't have these stats. Yeah, you salvage it. Unlike like I'm going back to World Flippers a lot just because they do everything right in this game.
Yeah, like, that's definitely your main squeeze right now. That's for sure.
Well, I haven't played a gacha game for this long since Genshin Impact, because with Genshin Impact, it's a new thing. It was a fresh thing, right? It's an open world gacha game and
Breath of the Wild looking game.
Yeah, exactly. With World Flippers, you're back to like a generic, like the playstyle is different, right? But you're back to like the generic thing. But they just do everything right by the book about what a good gacha game can be. And I love the weapon system. Because these weapons, they change how how you play the game. Like, let's say you like all these weapons, they're set. They have a set ability, right? So you don't need to roll these different weapons or whatever. They have a set thing, and there's some weapons that can totally change out the loadout of what a team can do.
Right.
I think that's what a weapon should be, and it shouldn't be just a min-max, like another min-max thing. It should change playstyle of a game, like of your group, and not how it dictates about your strength or whatever like that. Yeah.
Speaking of min-maxing, how do you feel about tier lists? Because for me personally, for the longest time, if it wasn't the triple S ranked on the tier list by whoever made the tier list, then I didn't want it. But now more and more playing all these gacha games, I just want like the character art that I like. I don't care if they're not the best character. If it looks good and I like how the character plays, that's what matters to me. And then I'll figure out a team comp to, be able to be content with that character.
I think for me, I actually do follow the tier list because these tier lists are these important. Tier lists. Yeah, it's 100% important that I understand that you don't need the tier list to be able to enjoy the game, right?
No, of course. But of course, you need it for the high-end content, like optimum gear to clear it. But as far as like the same thing for me, like in the past, where if it wasn't multiple high-end units in one roll, then I would trash the file and re-roll. That's that type of enjoyment. I'm trying to be like more satisfied with what I get, and
you want the art, right? You want the art, and you'd rather.
I need to go away from re-rolling 50 times and then just do it a couple of times if I get characters that look cool and they're cool. That's for me, because I'm not gonna end up playing this like more than 100 hours probably.
I think the biggest thing. Okay, well, so with re-rolling, I think the biggest thing for that right now is playing Blue Archive, and it's because it has a very steep difficulty curve. It gets very hard very fast.
Wow. Yeah, so because you definitely need the optimum.
Yeah, you really do need, like, for sure they have this one unit that they have this tank unit, right? That you definitely, like, it's a good thing that she's only a 2-star, because you're without a doubt gonna get her, right? You're without a doubt gonna get this tank girl, and then you're gonna need some additional DPS units or whatever, and they give you plenty of that. Like, there's some 2-star units that are way better than some triple S units, right?
In Blue Archive, if you get multiple of that tank girl, can you like awaken her or whatever?
Yeah,
like, unlock her potential. Is that how they do it? Because I haven't bothered to do that much in that game, or even see if they have it.
Yeah, they have that type of system installed, but instead of like a multiple type thing, like multiple unit combination, what they do is, so I think the tank girl is like 2 stars, right? And I think you need 60 of her gems to level her up to 3 stars.
Yeah.
And you can get those gems from just doing the regular missions.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you can get them in the rolls, but you can also get them in the missions. It's gonna take a while for you to build up that much.
Yeah.
And you are gonna need to get them to, like, I think all the units can be 5 stars once you get enough of their gems together.
Right.
But there's just some units that are just better than other units when it comes to, like, the rock paper scissors systems, especially with, like, in Blue Archive they use like a terrain system or whatever.
Right. I hated Fate Grand Order, where to, like, same thing as Genshin Impact, you had to get multiple of the 5-star unit only to unlock its potential. How was Fire Emblem Heroes? It's been so long since I played that one. I had an amazing file, but I accidentally forgot to transfer it when I reset my phone when I got my new one, so I lost it.
I think I still have mine. I think mine's connected to my Nintendo account, so I don't have to worry about it.
I should try and see it. I probably like re-rolled alternate accounts and emails and just forgot what was connected to what. Like, I legit re-rolled Fire Emblem Heroes like 50 times.
I don't even remember how Fire Emblem Heroes, like, it had that Fire Emblem play style, right? But it not really my type of play style for a gacha game.
Yeah, I don't like tactics games, to be honest with you, but that's just
I love tactics games. I love tactics games, but not in a gacha system.
Yeah, like, Project X Zone, I think it was called, it had like Tekken characters, a bunch of Bandai characters in it, Street Fighter, and that is the one tactics games that killed my desire to play any tactics games for the foreseeable future.
Was there any certain games with like really standout gameplay for you?
Epic 7, yeah. Final Fantasy Mobius, gameplay was pretty great.
Epic 7 was a very boring playstyle. It was really.
I love turn-based. I love turn-based games.
Really, that's like every other gacha game. I think some of the games that really stood out to me was like Lost Claudia. Do you remember that one?
No, I barely ever. I don't think I played that one actually.
No, you played that one because I was telling you to play it, and then once you actually play it, you're like, whoa, these graphics are off the charts.
Graphics is one thing. If the gameplay isn't there for me,
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
gonna
no, no.
toss it.
The gameplay and the graphics were really good because it had like a an open field type battle system where you can use skills and the characters would move kind of in an open field. Do you remember that one?
I definitely didn't play much of that.
Yeah,
I played it a little bit, but the field of art for me, it just wasn't for me. It was like edgy Final Fantasy looking graphics.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah,
I definitely re-rolled that one a lot though. Looking at the
it was
art.
a fun game. It was a fun game. I'll say that.
Honestly, I played it for the re-rolls. It's like, oh, did I get the good units?
Yeah,
you got amazing too. It's like, all right, after I uninstalled the game, I don't like the gameplay, which is a horrible thing to do. Like, that's time wasted. Like, I should at least give it a bigger shot, but it wasn't for me.
I heard it
didn't click.
It tanked pretty bad though. I heard it tanked pretty bad.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't like the UI most of all during the battles. It was just, I did not like it.
Well, I mean, it had the same type of UI as Brave Exvius, right? Or
just which is the bottom bar at this point. Yeah, but Brave Exvius is like, it has that old school Final Fantasy 2-bit graphics. That's why I was okay with it. But after I lost, that was the one game that I was okay with. Like, I expect more from future Gacha games. If they want
your expectation is really high for Gacha games.
Oh yeah, dude. And I'm not even putting money in it. So I'm being a beggar and a chooser. How's it go? Beggars can't be choosers.
What about that Nintendo one? That one was really fun, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The one with Daoko singing in it.
Yeah, the really like Dragalia
Lost. Oh, that's still a good game. I like that one. The rating was fantastic.
Only thing that made me stop playing the game was that before they added like the purely character roles, didn't they have like weapon roles?
They did.
And everyone really got pissed off because they just couldn't get characters or whatever, and then they
was the good ones. Yeah. I stuck to just caring about the dragons because that's what I really cared about. They had a good collabs, like a Persona 5 collabs. Like, oh, this is so good. I love Atlas games. Shin Megami Tensei, I love.
Have you played Guardian Tales yet?
No. Did you ever play the Shin Megami Tensei gacha?
Never.
Yeah, not worth it. That's gonna be from me.
So Guardian Tales is basically, it's made by the same company that made World Flippers, right?
Yeah.
And it's an amazing game. It's it has like this Zelda-esque gameplay style.
Like 2-bit or Breath of the Wild?
2-bit, like the original, where you move and you can move across the screen, and then you had like normal fighting styles or whatever. And then each character has like their different types of attacks, like where you move around the screen and stuff like that. Right. It's an amazing game. Definitely give it a try.
Okay.
Another game. Do you remember that like the really crappy what was it?
Really crappy what?
What was that? What's Monster Hunter clone or whatever?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But I remember when you did the gacha rolls for it, you don't roll for the items, you roll for the monsters to fight. And then when you fight the monsters, you get the drops off the monsters.
I was pretty hyped with that game. I played it a lot. For the life of me, I can't remember what the name of it was.
I can't either. But I hated that you have to get multiples of the same monster rolls. Like you had to get like a bunch of triple S's to get the full gear set, which I hated so much.
That was so hard to get. Like, RNG can be cruel.
And I know in the game, like whenever you join another person's party to fight their monsters, you like if you roll the gacha for the monster, you have like a 100% chance to get the rare drop. But if you join another person's party,
Dragon Project, by the way.
Oh, Dragon Project. You can get the rare drop, but it's like at a 0.01% or something like that. It's very low. So
Dragon Project is dead, by the way.
Oh yeah, I knew it was dead
a long time ago. Last year, September.
Oh really? So it's pretty recent that they just closed down the game, right?
4 people in the subreddit right now.
They're so mad about all their money going to waste.
Yeah, that's why I'm a free player.
Yeah. what other games really stood out to you in terms of gameplay?
That one, but I got my fun out of it. I haven't been playing as many as you have. That's for sure.
What about Azure Lane? Did you ever play that? It's like the
only one that I want to play is the one with the the horses and they race. That all the
Musume
streamers in Japan are always pulling that and going crazy for it. It looks fun, but
it's not fun. It's not fun.
It's not fun. Why?
It's not fun. Yeah, like it's fun watching another person's play it, but I played it. I tried it because I downloaded the Japanese version, right? And when you can't read any of it, it makes no sense to you.
Well, that's on you downloading a language you can't read. Well,
that's the only way you can play the game, right?
I know.
And the thing is that you have to. So when you roll for these girls, right, you then have to train them, and it goes through like a literal training arc in the game.
Oh, jeez. Training can be brutal for some of these games.
I don't even. It's weird. It's a weird game.
Oh, you know what game I've been playing a lot? Was playing a lot. It is the. Why can't I remember the name? You know the one with Melioda, 7 Deadly Sins?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have some of the most bizarre collabs in that game, dude. They had Stranger Things.
Wait, which game was that? I remember I told you about it. Wasn't that...
It's one of the big ones. It's 7 Deadly Sins is the anime. You know that anime, right? With the pig and the blonde hair.
Yeah.
That's super strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fully 3D game. That's how it's advertised.
I played that. And it was fun, I guess.
Yeah, I stopped playing it because, I just, at a certain point, like, what am I supposed to press? Because, sometimes you press buttons without reading the story, which a lot of these gacha games, I never read the story, to be honest with you. I made an attempt, maybe for like a day on one of the earlier gachas. I was like, I just want to play with the unit, that's it.
Didn't we also really enjoy that Sword Art Online game? The
Memory Defrag?
Yeah, Memory Defrag. That was a great, it was like it had the best amount of challenge I've ever had for a game ever.
It was definitely good. Those
bosses were so fun to fight because you had to like parry at the perfect time. You had to have like certain strats or whatever. Of course, you could cheese the boss with like S tier units or whatever, but it's fun being able to kill a boss if you just with a 4-star unit or something like that. Like it's doable, but you can't cheese it like you can with a 5-star unit.
Feels like every anime has their own gacha game, and almost none of them are great. I think the 7 Deadly Sins one is probably the most successful one.
Wasn't there? I know that they got a lot of hate with forgot what it was called. It was like the really cheesy isekai name too. It was like pick up girls in a dungeon. That one.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think
what was wrong with it?
I think they censored it for the global release.
Oh, that's right, they did. Like when you're in the room.
Yeah, and I guess people just hated that a lot. And
yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
Can't get away with that over here in America.
Oh, didn't they have like a really cool 8-bit Final Fantasy game? I really enjoyed that one.
Brave Exvius, you mean, or a different one? They have so many now, dude. Isn't there like 5 Dragon Ball Z games on the Android store? And like 3 Bleach ones, some like 5 One Piece ones.
What was Brave Exvius the 8-bit
Final Fantasy? Yeah.
Which one was the one where it's like 3D characters walking?
Mobius.
Okay.
That one shut down. And I don't think you control your character. You did a turn-based fight with cards in Mobius, but it was really good.
But like for Mobius, they had a really ballin' Kate Sith song. You showed me. Remember that one?
Yeah, like they had a dude like. When you did multiplayer fights with the raid boss, it was fun. Super fun. It was like playing with CPUs. Like, best believe you should know what your teammates are doing, because if you don't, you're gonna not have a good time with their badge. Yeah, they gotta know what you're doing. Have good builds.
Did you ever play Pokemon Master EX or whatever, that one?
Yeah, but it was boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
You could play it infinitely and beat the game without stopping. It's just infinite stamina, basically, but it was boring.
Yeah, 100% agree with you.
I got rare units, and I just I don't care.
Yeah, it's really not. It's not engaging, right? It's not engaging for me.
Not for me, that's for sure.
Nothing. They have a couple like Naruto games, but nothing really stood out to me in terms of like a decent gacha
not
game.
At all.
Did you ever play Arknights?
I know of it. I played it for like 30 minutes and put it down forever because my phone at the time wasn't that great.
Oh, it's a tower defense game. I mean, it's kind of fresh, right? Like a new fresh gameplay style, but it never caught on to me either as well. Like nothing that I could enjoy playing. I think any other games you want to mention, I guess?
No, that's pretty much all that I could remember. I dug deep for the Dragalia not the Dragalia, the Memory Defrag.
Memory Defrag. I love Memory Defrag.
That was a good one. That was definitely good.
I guess that's pretty much it for me. I mean, there's only one more game I can really mention.
What?
So this podcast is not sponsored by
God
Shadow Legends.